Hey, so I wanted to talk today about how a 3-minute phone call turned into an Ironman, and how that applies to your business. It's a personal story that I'm going to share, but I want to preface that by saying, as a business owner and entrepreneur and marketer, and yes, we are all marketers. I hope it's something important to remember. One of our goals is to invite people to take action. Okay, so that action could be anything from clicking on a link to find out more information. It could be downloading a free report. It could be watching a video. It could be calling for a free estimate. Whatever that looks like, we're always trying to get people to do something, right? And Einstein has a great quote about this. He says, "Nothing happens until something moves." And that's exactly what happens in business, right? I mean, you don't get calls. The phone doesn't start ringing until you have someone physically pick up the phone and punch in the numbers or voice activate the call, call Mark Thackeray or whatever, right? Nothing happens until something moves, until someone takes action. And that's really how life works. You see this time and time again. It's the invitation to do something, or it's the invitation to be someone that really gets people off their butt and moving, gets them into gear. And that's exactly what happened to me back in 2010. And I'll pull up some pictures here in just a second, but I remember this clearly. I was outside in the garden trying to figure out what the heck I was doing out there when my phone rings, and I look down. It's my friend from Arizona, my friend Cody, who lived down in Arizona at that time. And it's kind of out of the blue. I'm thinking, wonder what this is about. And I pick up the phone, and in true Cody fashion, he gets right to the point. He said, "Hey man, I just signed up for the Ironman. Do you want to do this with me?" Now, I'm like, whoa, that's pretty gnarly. But at the same time, I'd had that thought before, like, oh, that'd be super cool to do an Ironman. Kind of joked about it at times with friends and had that kind of pie in the sky type mentality about it. Like, oh yeah, that'd be super cool. Where you not really planning on it, but you just kind of say that because it would be cool. But then, and actually my first reaction was to be like, yeah, I'm in, just because my pride was kind of starting to show, like, yeah, I could do that. But then the thought of, this beastly race, this is a massive race, 2.4 mile swim, followed by a 112-mile bike ride, and then completing a full marathon, 26.2 miles, all in one day, back to back to back. Okay, that was pretty heavy. I'm the 2.4 mile swim. I got that. I played water polo in high school. I love to swim. No problem. I can do that. No problem. The bike ride, I could get through it. I know I could grit my teeth and get through it. The run, same thing. But then when you stack them, you layer them on one top on top of the other. Whew, that was heavy, and so I had to really think about that. It wasn't just he wasn't just calling me to be like, "Hey man, that'd be cool if you did this," but it was a direct question. It was a challenge, and it required a definite answer. And so I eventually I told him, "Hey, give me the weekend. Let me talk to Allie, make sure that she's on board with this." She was pregnant with baby girl number two at the time. And so I just wanted to make sure that we were on the same page, because it was going to be, I knew the training would be pretty heavy. And so long story short, I talked to Allie, and she eventually gave her blessing. So I called Cody up following week and said, I'm in, man. And then 9 months later, I became an Ironman, all from a 3-minute invitation to act. And here I wanted to share some glorious pictures. Okay, so here's me before the race. Actually, let me see if I'm not sharing my screen. That's why. Okay, here we go. Okay, here's me prior to the race. Of course, all smiles, super excited. Yeah, let's do this. Still nervous, of course, but in pretty good spirits at that time. All right, let's see. It's not letting me move. Oh, here we go. Now this was a critical junction in the race. So I completed this. The swim was great. Went off without a hitch. I loved it. I loved that part. Me and my friend Cody, we got right up to the front, and it was like water polo style, where you're kind of swimming head up, mostly because there's so many people. It's an open start swim. And so you're really kind of swimming over people and things like that. So you can't really do traditional head down swimming. but it was more like of a water polo hybrid approach where you're kind of swimming head up and head up, head down type thing. And I just loved it. It was so fun. That went by super fast. Got on the bike, and that was long. I mean, it went great. It did. It went really well, all things considered. Tried to just pace myself, even though I had people zooming past me all the time. I'm an okay biker, not a great biker, and cyclist, whatever. Just kidding. But then I got to the run, and the first half went so good. I did half the marathon and put some more sunscreen on, and I think changed my socks or something like that, and then got going. And here's my other friend Andy right here, this good looking fella, and tall drink of water, and we get going. And I was just, oh man, right at this stage, we were right about to cross. All our families right here cheering us on. Everyone's together. Yeah, so excited. And I just hit a wall. I literally hit that figurative wall smack head on, and it just stopped me. And the last thing I wanted to do was consume any additional energy that I didn't need. And so here I was trying to just one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other. And Andy's waving to the family and giving, being a good husband and a friend, and just, hey guys, thanks for coming out. And I'm just like straight on. I didn't even look at it. And of course, that was a huge mistake. So don't make that mistake. If you ever do that, make sure you talk to your family, be good about it, thank them for coming. And then when you get back to your race, you can let it all out and how crappy it is. But this was such a bad moment. And it was a huge mistake that I didn't do that. My wife was freaking out a little bit, like, oh my gosh, what's going on? He's never like that sort of thing. But they calmed down, whatever, kept going. And actually right after this, got 2 cramps in one leg. So I had to start walking. I walked for several miles, and just all I was focused on was consuming liquid and trying to get those out. Eventually I did. Oh, here's my oldest Siri. She's probably after seeing me right past, and she's like, oh my gosh, that is not my father. Anyway, she was a pretty good sport most of the time. Eventually made it, at the end, I got the cramps out. I was able to kind of jog and felt really good at the end. So that was fun to finish strong. But here's after the finish line, a little worse for the wear. You can kind of see my handlebar mustache. It doesn't connect really well right here, so it's not as strong. But the commentator the guy who was announcing, he did give me a shout out for it. So I was pretty proud about that. Another shot at the end. It took me about 13 hours or so to finish. So that was it. Oh, and the aftermath. Oh, this next day. Look at that. Oh man, on both sides, because my jersey. And I put sunscreen on, but not enough, clearly. And so I paid the price. And actually, crazy thing is, I had that a tan line there for like 10 years, and I think you could still kind of see it. Like there's more freckles and moles right in that area where there was sun. So a lot of lessons learned here. But anyway, so yeah, I wanted to share that whole experience came about because of a 3-minute phone call and a direct question to act, an invitation to act. That's all stemmed from that. That's the power of asking, you guys. If you think about that for a second, think about this particular story. From that short conversation, I ended up committing 15 hours a week on average. And during the peak, it was up to 20 hours a week of training for 9 months based off a 3-minute conversation. That's nutso, right? I mean, that's just remarkable. And I always think back how nothing would have happened had he not picked up the phone and called me and asked me straight out. Nothing would have happened. I would still be thinking, oh, that'd be cool to do an Ironman. Yeah, man, we should do it someday. Never do anything, right? And the same principle holds true for your business. You could be the greatest life coach. You could be the best dentist. You could be the best personal trainer out there where you get massive results for every single client you work with. But if you are not asking your audience to take action, then it's all for naught. I mean, and that's what's so cool about an invitation, is that it forces someone to actually stop and think about their options and then make a decision. Okay. There's so much clarity that comes with making a decision, whether that's yes or whether that's no. And it's clarity for both sides. So if you're asking someone to come to do business with you and they say no, it's clarity for you. How nice is that to know that, okay, this person's not ready yet. what do I need to do? And you can continue to ask questions, right? I mean, you dive deeper to uncover what is their holdup. It could be mental, it could be financial. Finding out what that is, and it all starts from that initial question. You don't find that out until you ask that question. But it also provides clarity for them. So even if they don't take action, then it forces them to think about it. And we derive so much drive and so much, what's the right word? So much, clarity is a great word, but also just so much direction. That's what I was looking for. So much direction from decisions. Once we make a decision. So if I make a decision, I am not going to eat 6 donuts every day. Okay. Then, or if I'm a healthy eater, I don't drink soda. Like, I just don't. That's not who I am. It's not part of my identity. I make that decision. It's makes it so much easier from then on. I made that decision not to ever I don't do drugs. I don't drink alcohol, anything like that. And I made that decision very early on. It has never been a challenge for me. It has never, ever been a challenge for me. I get people asking all the time. I've had lots of clients will go out to dinner and they'll want to buy me drinks, whatever, and just not even, like, and I have no problem if you want, that's totally cool. Like, that's just not for me, and that's what's, again, the power of making a decision. And that all comes back from asking, the invitation to ask. Okay. So that's the bottom line that I want you to remember is don't be afraid to ask your audience to take action. Don't get hung up on that. Okay. It's good for them and it's good for you regardless of the outcome. It helps you both move in the right direction. That's what's really cool. So with that said, let me take my own advice here and invite you to do something too. So if you are, if you have business goals, I always ask when I'm meeting with people, what are your goals? Where do you want to be? Now, are these fleshed out concrete goals, or are these just, hey, it'd be nice to do these, kind of like it'd be nice to be an Ironman kind of goals, like airy fairy, not really concrete, actionable goals. Then I ask, what is your process, or how do you plan on achieving those goals? Okay. Because most people they don't think that far through. They think, yeah, it'd be nice. I'd love to have all the money I need. Okay, what does that mean? How much money? How much money do you need? What does that equate to every month? How can you get to that every month? What are you making now? How do you get to that point? And one of the things I thrive off is meeting with other business owners, entrepreneurs, and collaborating with them, diving into their business, really dissecting what they're doing and where they're trying to go, and then identifying and uncovering those opportunities of untapped potential that they're missing out on. And that's what I do. So every week I have reserved a few slots for these 20 to 30 minute conversations that I just call them strategy calls, a strategy session, where it'll all be focused around your business and some actionable things that you can do right now. Now, these aren't high pressure sales calls. I'm not trying to put you in a headlock until you say yes type of thing. It's really to share these ideas. And if you want help implementing them, great. We can talk about that. If not, no worries. I love to share this information. I really do. That's why I take the time to do these posts. I don't have to do these posts. Like, I know the information, but I think it's been really helpful to me, and I think it will be helpful to other people. In fact, I know it is. I've had several people respond already, and I'm just kind of getting this going. So very cool. If you want to schedule a time with me, I would love to talk to you. I really would. It's so fun. I get a lot of, I had one the other day actually, and I took away a couple new ideas as well. So it was awesome. It's just a win-win that way. So if you're interested, click on the link below to schedule your strategy call, and then we'll put it on the calendar. But until then, happy Wednesday to you. It is the 31st of March. Yeah, March. Can't believe it. We're already into April. But keep up the good work, you guys, and do not be afraid to ask. We'll see you next time.